Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association. If you have a news topic or event that you would like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 970-677-4119. Today's show runs Thursday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today is August 15th, 2019, and now the news at noon. Reported in the Durango Herald with a file photo of Haviland Lake. Starting on today, Thursday, August 15th, it's a free-for-all for fish on Haviland Lake as wildlife officials prepare to drain the reservoir north of Durango. Colorado Parks and Wildlife announced all bag and possession limits for fishing at Haviland Lake have been lifted, which means anglers can keep as much fish as they want until September 30th. CPW said that earlier this summer, a total of 13,500 fish were stocked in the reservoir. The reservoir, about 18 miles north of Durango, off of U.S. Highway 550, will be drained after Labor Day, September 2nd, so repairs can be made to the dam's outlet structure. And the work should be completed in about 2 months. After the repairs, the lake will begin to fill naturally. Anglers must still have a valid Colorado fishing license, and fish may be taken only by lawful angling methods. Nets and seines are not permitted, and commercial fishing is not allowed. The U.S. Forest Service manages the campground at Haviland Lake, but CPW owns the dam, and the 80-acre reservoir is part of Haviland Lake State Wildlife Area. The campground facilities will close on September 9th. And reported in the Journal, an Ignacio family crashed an SUV on Interstate 25 just north of Trinidad on Tuesday, killing the parents and leaving 2 girls orphaned, that according to Colorado State Patrol. Jessica and Leon Sage were driving a 2001 Chevrolet Tahoe south on the interstate with their daughters ages 5 and 13 around 10 a.m. when the vehicle crossed the white fog line on the west side of the road and collided with 2 reflective posts that show drivers where pavement ends, the State Patrol said in a news release. The girls were wearing seatbelts, law enforcement said, and the parents were not. Leon, who was driving, overcorrected and crossed the interstate to the east, troopers wrote in a preliminary report. The vehicle rolled twice, the parents were ejected, and the girls suffered minor injuries, according to law enforcement. Jessica, age 31, and Leon, age 33, were found dead at the scene. The girls were taken to a Front Range hospital, although State Patrol spokesman Joshua Lewis said Wednesday he did not know which medical facility. Trooper Lewis said it's common for windows to break when a vehicle rolls. Law enforcement is investigating what caused the vehicle to leave the road and how fast it was traveling when it did, Lewis said. Details about how far the vehicle went off the road and information about who has custody of the girls was not immediately available as of yesterday afternoon. Jessica and Leon were married in 2010, according to a Facebook page matching the family's description, but no further information was immediately available about the couple or their children. And reported in the Journal with a photo by Patrick Armijo. Hemp plants between 4.5 feet and 3.5 feet tall, their height dependent on the amount of irrigated water they had received, were shown off on Wednesday at the Southwest Colorado Research Center in Yellow Jacket. The center, an agricultural research and experimentation facility run by the Colorado State University, or CSU, opened its doors on Wednesday to more than 70 visitors for its annual field day. During field day, we can communicate to the farmers, convey the research that's going on here, things that might help them, said Emily Lockard, a research associate with the center. Quote, "We've got a good website, but it can't replace face-to-face meetings and walking the fields." Zane Wilson, a CSU intern from Mancus who works on the research hemp plot at the center, said researchers are targeting feeding half the plants 20 inches of irrigated water and half plants 12 inches during the growing season to measure the effects of low and high irrigation amounts. Wilson measures the plant's height, the number of main branches on a plant, the stem diameter, and the temperature of the leaves. Besides the irrigation affecting the plants, 3 types of biodegradable plastic mulch used on the test plot also affect the plant's growth, and Wilson is measuring the plant's characteristics based on the type of mulch used as well. The plot is using 48-inch wide biodegradable compostable plastic strips as mulch. The strips break down to fertilizer over a growing season, and the mulch is either colored black, white, or white on the edges with a black strip down the center. Jack Roger with Film Organic, the maker of the plastic mulch strips, said the strip with black down the center and white around the edges should produce the healthiest plants. The two-colored strip should be best because the black center provides heat for the main stem on the plant, but the white plastic on the edges doesn't heat up enough to damage the plant's leaves. Katie Russell, the center's manager and research scientist, said very little research was conducted on hemp until passage of the 2018 Hemp Farming Act, which made the plant legal to grow in the United States. Quote, if you think of other commodity crops, we've made huge strides with genetic understanding, their growth habits, their drought tolerance, but there's been virtually no research on hemp, Russell said. The DIRTH 2 research is coming to an end as agricultural research centers across the country, the window opened by its legalization, are now actively studying hemp. Jack Varkados, facilities operations manager for Green Links Farms, located near Mancus, said hemp requires less water than most crops, and he thinks that will be a help in creating a commercial crop in southwest Colorado, but he doubts that hemp will be viable as a dryland crop. Green Links Farms has a 13,800 square foot greenhouse where it started hemp plants, and now it has them growing on a 4-acre plot just outside. No one's grown hemp in this country since the 1930s, Varkados said. All the hemp farmers are deceased, so we're having to start all over. The real experts that we have are personal marijuana growers who grow a limited amount of plants on small locations, and the lessons they learned don't always translate to a farm scale. And now let's take a look at the local hot weather. Extremely isolated high country thunderstorm development with gusty outflow winds and lightning will again be a threat this afternoon through early evening. And add to that, now that things have remained so dry of recent, a fire weather watch as winds Friday afternoon into Friday evening may gust 20 to 30 miles an hour, and relative humidity will be around 9 to 14% only. Conditions could be favorable for the rapid ignition and spread of fires. They strongly discourage agricultural burning in the afternoon and evening. So back to today, sunny and hot with a high near 88 degrees, south winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tonight mostly clear with a low around 56, west winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, though our local low last night was a little lower than projected, which cooled things off nicely. Friday again, plenty of sunshine with a high near 89 degrees, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, with those wind gusts coming in for the afternoon and staying through the evening hours of Friday night with mostly clear skies and a low to 54. Then Saturday, again sunny with a high near 87 degrees, south-southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, and winds may remain a bit gusty to 25 miles an hour. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 54. And finishing up this nice weekend, Sunday remains forecast for another sunny day with a high near 86. Sunday night, mostly clear and a low of about 55 degrees. And still no moisture in sight for us. Next week, we start Monday. Again, a hot and sunny day with a high near 87 degrees. Monday night, mostly clear with a low around 57. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 89 degrees. Tuesday night, mostly clear with a low around 58. So we are still in summer, even though the Dove Creek educational facilities have either already started classes or for the DCRJ2 district, classes start on Monday. So please be aware of the school buses back on the roads again. And now back to the news. From the Journal, AP photo, Morgan Lee. Some Navajo Nation officials want New Mexico to rename a U.S. highway after one of the longest-serving Native American lawmakers in U.S. history. A Navajo legislative committee is requesting New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham name U.S. Highway 491 in honor of the late state senator John Pinto, as reported in the Farmington Daily Times. Pinto, who died in May at 94, had long sought to turn the deadly U.S. Highway 666 into a 4-lane highway and to change its name to 491. The road was nicknamed the Devil's Highway because of the significance of number 666 has for what the number has for Christians, and because it was the site of a number of deadly traffic fatalities. The highway is featured in such movies like Natural Born Killers and Repo Man. The highway was named one of the 20 most dangerous in the country in 1997. Pinto was among the state legislators and Navajo leaders who got the highway changed to US 491. He had a strong passion for that highway, said Delegate Mark Freeland, who is sponsoring the bill in the Navajo Nation Tribal Council. Such a designation will honor and memorialize Pinto's legacy, Freeland said. It'll be an ultimate tribute to him. I hope the state gives it some consideration. US Highway 491 stretches about 195 miles from Gallup, New Mexico, through Colorado, right down the middle of Dove Creek, and into Monticello, Utah. Pinto was a World War II Navajo code talker and served over 4 decades in the state legislature. Lujan Grisham's office on Thursday stopped short of endorsing the proposal on the highway, but signaled the governor would be open to the discussion. Marissa Mays, a spokeswoman for the New Mexico Department of Transportation, said any renaming of the highway would involve a formal request and a formal proposal written up by the department. It would then have to be presented to a state commission and approved by the Navajo Council. And reported in the Journal with a photo courtesy of Southwest Memorial. Officials and staff members with Southwest Memorial Hospital met with U.S. Representative Scott Tipton, Republican, about local health care services last week. Tipton toured the new $32 million expansion that includes a modern patient wing, updated women's health center, and 2-story medical office building, the Consolidated Physician Services. Southwest Health System CEO Tony Sudduth spoke about the difficult financial crisis last year that led to 40 layoffs and the hospital's subsequent recovery efforts that are seeing success. Quote, "A year ago, there was a large potential of closing, but we are back on track," he said. Patient satisfaction has gone from 3-star to 4-star. Sudduth said one of their biggest challenges securing funding for an estimated $12 million in infrastructure upgrades needed in older parts of the hospital that were built in 1970s. Tipton was engaged in questions and conversations ranging from high costs of insurance and reimbursements to the challenges of physician recruitment and the crisis of mental health and substance abuse. A big concern for residents are high-cost insurance premiums under the Affordable Care Act that can be 3 times higher than in the Denver metro area, Sudduth said. Solving that problem is important to keep patients insured in our area. More family practice physicians are needed in Montezuma County, and recruitment is ongoing. There are waiting lists to see a family doctor for primary care. 2 new internal medicine physicians were recently hired, and recruitment continues for general surgery and orthopedics. Tipton wondered whether telemedicine technology had been tapped into the Southwest. Sudduth said overall they have not explored those options, but there is a potential for it in the future, potentially for behavioral care. Tipton asked about whether reimbursement for Medicaid and Medicare patients at rural Southwest Memorial compares fairly with larger urban areas. Sudduth said there was not a large disparity, but he cautioned that a proposed Medicare for All program could force more than half of rural hospitals to go out of business. He said 72% of Southwest patient base is Medicare and Medicaid supported. Tipton was also critical of the Affordable Care Act. It's a big frustration because rural America is paying a premium for the insurance compared to urban, and we have lower per capita income, Tipton said. The requirement is that poor people will pay more. Insurance cost is one of the most punitive things people face. Southwest also serves a lot of Medicaid and Medicare patients coming from the 4 corner states, said CFO Rick Schrader. On the way here, they drive by some New Mexico medical centers who do not accept certain government benefit plans because they lose money. For solutions, we have to think out of the box. It used to be wherever you were, your policy would be accepted, but now there's too much out-of-network denials and surprise bills, Tipton said. Each community has different challenges. The common ground is that we all agree that costs are too high, and how do we create competition to lower those costs? He cited a case where medical imaging was expensive at a hospital in Eagle County, but when another business offered it for 80% less, the hospital dropped its price. Another idea discussed was giving employers within a trade incentives to partner with peer companies to negotiate a better price for insurance with price savings passed on to employees. And now today's High Canyon Country happenings. August 15th, tonight, the public hearing and final reading on OHV ordinance starts at 6:30 p.m. in Dove Creek at the Public Service Center. Please view the town's website for more information and to review the ordinance. The new town website is online at www.colorado.gov/Dove Creek. And Friday, August 16th, is the monthly food distribution by the Dove Creek Care and Share Food Pantry, TFAP Commodities Distribution. Please bring your ID and your own bags or boxes. The Dove Creek Care and Share Food Pantry Inc. is an all-volunteer nonprofit 501c3 corporation and an equal opportunity provider. It's located at 214 East 4th Street in Dove Creek, and that starts at 10 a.m. on Friday. And don't forget, Friday night is the last Cajun Boil special at the State Line Bar and Grill, with special music from Dulce, the couple at the core of the band Crossroads, also the new school music and fine arts specialist. They will start playing hopefully on the patio, depending on those winds, starting at 6 p.m. And today marks the 50th anniversary of the amazing Woodstock Festival Festival in Bethel, New York. On August 15, 1969, at 5:07 p.m., Richie Havens took the stage at Max Yasgur's Bethel, New York dairy farm, kicking off 3 days of peace and music. To revisit Woodstock as it all went down, xpn.org will broadcast Woodstock as it happened 50 years on, a radio exclusive that includes all of the festival's archived audio, from the music to the stage announcements to the rain delays. Over 3 days, they'll play newly reconstructed audio archives of each of Woodstock's 32 performances, from Richie Havens' opening set to Jimi Hendrix's closing one and everything in between, in as close to real time as possible. From Thursday, August 15th at 5:07 p.m. through Sunday morning, tune in to hear the Grateful Dead, Janis Joplin, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and so many more, just as they sounded in 1969 during the weekend that would shape a generation. And you can avoid all the mud or being stuck in traffic by listening it online as well. And I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is DCTV News at Noon, so you can look up phone numbers and dates. We also upload the daily news to our YouTube channel, which you can search for with the same name, DCTV News at Noon. And the broadcast is also posted to the general Facebook page, where we add links to stories of interest, share other event or news, and where you can join in on the conversation too. This is your local community television station, so if you have something you'd like to share, contact us by email, dcbnnews@gmail.com, or call us at the station 970-677-4119, and we'll be happy to help. And thank you for tuning in. News at Noon now airs at noon Monday through Friday, and then is available on demand online on our YouTube channel and posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. We ask that you please like us there and share it with a friend. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Thank you for watching.